If you're into music production, you know that audio plugins can help improve your tracks. But with so many options available, it can be overwhelming to know what to buy, when to buy, and even if you need to buy a plugin in the first place. This video will teach you how to spend your money wisely. Let's get right into it. So the first thing we need to understand before buying plugins are plugin categories. And in this video, we'll be dividing these plugins into 4 categories. Instruments, which are synthesizers, samplers, virtual pianos, and even orchestral libraries. Creative effects. These type of plugins are like reverbs and delays and even modulation effects. We also have audio editing and restoration tools. So these are tools you use to clean up your audio, like noise reduction or de-essing plugins. And the last category on our list are mixing and mastering plugins. So think of EQs, compressors, limiters, tape simulation plugins, and plugins you use for mixing and mastering. So each of these plugin categories serve a purpose, and you need to identify your need before shopping. So that brings us to one of the questions of this video. Do you even need to buy a plugin? If you're a beginner or you just started out in the music production or audio engineering industry, the answer is no. You do not need to spend money on additional plugins. So there are 2 solutions for you instead. The first one is maximizing your digital audio workstation. Before you think of purchasing a plugin, make sure you've made the most out of your digital audio workstation. And your DAW typically comes with great stock plugins, so it has everything in the categories we've talked about. Let's take an example with FL Studio. So if you look at FL Studio, and if I check the plugins in FL Studio, we can see it has drum samplers, MIDI plugins, synthesizers, delay, reverb, distortion. FL Studio has everything you need in the different plugin categories we've talked about. And the first thing you want to do if you're a beginner or if you're just starting out in music production or audio engineering is maxing out your digital audio workstation. So you might want to think of upgrading your digital audio workstation to the highest level. For FL Studio, this is the All Plugins edition, which is currently for sale for $314. So this would typically handle everything you need to do in music production or audio engineering. And if the highest option of your DAW is not giving you what you want, the next thing you might want to think of is sourcing for free plugins. So there are lots of powerful free plugins out there. And if your DAW is not giving you what you want, you might want to consider trying out a free plugin first before you purchase a plugin for a purpose you need. Because a plugin or a software is free doesn't mean the plugin is bad, or doesn't mean it works lesser than a paid option. I'll give you an example here. There is a type of compressor or a limiting amplifier called the LA2A, and there are plugins that simulate this hardware compressor. And one of them is the White 2A by T-Rax, and another one is Lala by Analog Obsession. So out of a lot of these LA2A simulations I've tried, Lala is the one I enjoy using the most. I like the sound of Lala, and I have a few extra options to play with here. And when I think of LA2A, I think of the free Analog Obsession version of the LA2A. I prefer it to every paid LA2A emulations I own. So this is just one instance where a free plugin does better than a paid plugin for me. I have a playlist on best free plugins, and you can check that out if you want to try out different free plugins in different plugin categories or for different plugin types. And generally speaking, you just want to try out different free plugins before taking on a paid plugin. This brings us to the next question. Why do people pay for plugins? So people pay for plugins for different reasons. The first is a better sound. They prefer how a paid version of a plugin sounds. The next thing is a better workflow. So there are some paid plugins that have a better workflow than a free alternative. Third reason is most paid plugins are easy to use. So a lot of free plugins are complex, they are not well designed, they have a poor user interface, and they can be difficult to use. So paid plugins solve that problem. The fourth reason has to do with plugin emulation. So a lot of plugins emulate physical hardware, and paid options emulate the hardware more accurately than a free alternative. The last and most important reason why people pay for plugins is because of updates and support. So paid plugins tend to have more updates, fixing bugs and problems, improving user interface, and they also tend to have better support. So you can just reach out to their customer service and they solve a problem you're having with your plugins. So these are the reasons people typically buy plugins. And if you don't need any of those reasons, you do not need to buy a plugin. So if you are still looking for a particular sound or a particular tone, and you're still bent on buying a plugin, and all the reasons we've mentioned fit your need, then you might want to consider buying plugin bundles instead of buying an individual plugin. So why should you buy a bundle instead of buying plugins individually? So the first reason you want to do this is bundles are always cheaper than buying individual plugins separately. So you have different plugins, and different plugins you might want might be in a particular bundle. The next reason is they are very easy to manage. You have one ecosystem of plugins, and this makes updating and licensing easy. And the last reason for this is software companies that have these bundles offer you an upgrade path. So you get to upgrade your plugins at a discounted rate. So those are the reasons you should consider buying bundles instead of buying plugins individually. There are only two scenarios where it makes sense to buy plugins individually instead of in a bundle. The first scenario is the particular plugin you are looking for does not exist in any plugin bundle. This is a rare scenario, but it happens. There are particular plugins professionals need that does not exist in a bundle. If you're a beginner or intermediate producer or engineer, you might want to find an alternative that exists in a bundle, but sometimes you need a particular plugin that is not in any bundle all these companies have to offer. So that's one scenario where you buy a plugin separately from a bundle. The other scenario is if you do not like clutter, you don't like having a lot of plugins, you like to manage hard drive space, and you just need specific plugins for specific reasons, then you might want to buy plugins individually. So that will make a lot of sense, since you don't want everything a bundle has to offer and you just like to keep a minimalistic setup in your digital audio workstation. So I'm going to show you 3 plugin bundles that will solve all your problems and that matches all the plugin categories we talked about earlier in the video. So the first one is Komplete Standard. So Komplete is a bundle by Native Instruments, and in this bundle you have various instruments and libraries. You have drum percussions and libraries, you have synthesizers, you have effects, you have expansions, and you have a lot of plugins to play with. And right now this is selling for $300. They usually do deals, and you can start with a lower version of this bundle called Complete Select, but the Complete Standard is just a good bargain, and it can be one of the best bundles that gives you different options. So the next bundle I have here is Total Studio by Akai Multimedia, and this is currently going for $300. This also offers you lots of instruments and effects. You have sample tank for instrument libraries, lots of virtual synthesizers, you have an orchestral library, you have Sampletron, you have Modo Bass, which is a very realistic bass plugin. You have Modo Drum. I use this a lot for simulating acoustic drums. And you have Amplitude. Anybody that plays guitar or does a lot of work with guitars should have Amplitude in their toolkit. We also have T-Rax, which is one of the best bundles you can have for mixing and mastering. So you have a bundle within a bundle. So the Total Studio is just a bundle that makes a lot of sense, and I think it's something you should purchase as well alongside Complete. So with these 2 bundles, you can have instruments that cut across different genres of music. So the third important bundle I'll be telling you about here is Acoustica. So this would solve your problems for audio editing and audio cleanup. We talked about audio editing and restoration as one of the plugin categories, and this has everything you need for that purpose. So if you look into Acoustica, you have audio restoration tools like noise reduction tools, the hum, the click, the clip, and so on. This also includes a mixing and mastering suite, and you have tools for dynamics, equalization, limiting, and so on. So this also includes other interesting tools like Remix. So this can be used to separate your audio into stems. So I have a video on this. You can check that out in the description below. So those are the 3 bundles I think you need to get to have everything you need for music production or audio engineering, no matter what genre of music you do. There are some other bundles I wanted to mention in this video that I personally use. That's plugins by Tokyo Dawn Records, and this is a very nice bundle to have. It's a bundle of equalization, compressors, mixing, and plugins for mixing and mastering. I use this bundle a lot, and I thought I should recommend it in this video as well. So they also have a filters bundle, which is great as well. These are one of the best filters I've tried out. Another interesting bundle, and this is a free one, is the Kilohearts Essentials bundle. So this includes lots of creative effects you can use in your track. So check this out. And the last bundle we'll be looking at here is the Melda Production Free FX bundle. So this also includes lots of creative effects you can use in your track. So check these 5 bundles out. And I think with Komplete Standard, Total Studio, Acoustica, the TDR Bundles, Kilohearts Essential, and the Melda free bundles, you have everything you ever need. So that brings us to the next question. Where can you buy plugins? So I recommend 2 places for buying plugins. The first one is the official website of the plugin company. So this is usually the safest and most reliable place to get a plugin. And the second option is Plugin Boutique. So Plugin Boutique is the biggest plugin vendor in the industry, and they offer lots of deals, cashbacks, gifts, and is just a trusted and reliable plugin vendor I use. So that brings us to the final question of this video. When is the best time to buy plugins? Timing is everything when you want to purchase plugins, and if you want to save money and have the best deals, you have to time things right. Black Friday is one of the best days to buy plugins, and anytime you see a Black Friday deal, it's usually one of the best deals in the year. Halloween is another period for getting great deals. Cyber Monday is also a great period for getting great plugin deals. And one of the best times to get the best deals of the year is Christmas and New Year sales. So when Christmas period, and you can see all these bundles, FL Studio, they are doing their end of the year sale. Complete, Akai Multimedia, Acoustica, everybody does sales on Christmas and New Year. So that might be the best period for you to get a plugin. Another good time to get a plugin is on a company's anniversary. So check out these plugin companies you like and mark the dates of their anniversary. So you can check out the previous years they did their anniversary and mark that date. They usually offer great deals around their anniversary period. And yeah, that's how to buy audio plugins. That's how to spend your money wisely on audio software. Remember, it's not about how many plugins you have, but how well you use them. So make sure you maximize your DAW, make sure you experiment with free plugins, and make sure you buy plugins that only add true value to your music. So that will be all for this video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments the plugin you've used the most this year. Mine is Nova by Tokyo Dawn Records. And let me also know your favorite plugin right now, or a new amazing plugin you just discovered. I hope you're all doing well. I'll see you in another video.